Good morning, everyone. Your mind is like a room. If you fill it with unnecessary junk, there's no space left for what truly matters. And yet, most of us walk around carrying so much mental clutter that we don't even realize how much it's weighing us down. We think about things we can't control. We dwell on past mistakes. We replay conversations that are long over, and we worry about things that might never happen. This constant mental noise doesn't just steal our peace, it robs us of clarity, focus, and the ability to take meaningful action in our lives. Eliminating mental clutter isn't just about having fewer thoughts, it's about having the right thoughts. Imagine trying to solve a complex problem while sitting in a messy, noisy room full of distractions. It would be nearly impossible to concentrate. But if you clean the space, remove the distractions, and give yourself room to think, suddenly the solution becomes clearer. The same applies to your mind. When your mind is overloaded with unnecessary thoughts, you struggle to focus, make decisions, and move forward with confidence. But when you clear out the clutter, you create space for what truly matters: clarity, creativity, and purposeful action. The first step in eliminating mental clutter is awareness. Most of us don't even realize how much unnecessary noise is in our minds because we've grown so accustomed to it. Take a moment to observe your thoughts. What are you thinking about most often? How many of those thoughts are actually productive? How many are just replaying old worries or filling space with negativity? Once you become aware of the mental clutter, you can start the process of letting go. One of the biggest sources of mental clutter is overthinking. Overthinking is like running on a mental treadmill. You expend a lot of energy, but you don't actually get anywhere. It creates stress, delays decisions, and keeps you stuck in a cycle of doubt and fear. The key to overcoming overthinking is to take action. Instead of endlessly analyzing every possible outcome, make a decision and move forward. Progress comes from action, not from endless mental debates. Another way to clear mental clutter is by setting boundaries, both with people and with information. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded with news, notifications, and opinions from others. If we're not careful, our minds become overloaded with external noise that has nothing to do with our actual goals and priorities. Be intentional about what you consume. Limit distractions, reduce screen time, and be mindful of what you allow into your mental space. Just like a healthy diet, what you feed your mind determines your overall well-being. Journaling is another powerful tool for decluttering your mind. Writing down your thoughts helps you process them, prioritize what matters, and let go of what doesn't. Instead of carrying everything in your head, put it on paper. This simple habit can bring clarity and reduce mental overwhelm. When you eliminate mental clutter, you create the space needed for growth, focus, and inner peace. The less mental noise you carry, the more energy you have to invest in what truly matters. Finding peace begins with learning how to let go. We often hold on to things, past mistakes, regrets, resentment, and fears, that serve no real purpose in our lives. They take up space in our minds, making it difficult to think clearly and move forward. Letting go is not about forgetting or pretending things didn't happen. It's about choosing not to let the past control you anymore. When you let go of what no longer serves you, you free yourself to focus on the present and create a better future. One of the biggest things people struggle to let go of is the past. We replay old conversations, analyze mistakes, and wish we had done things differently. But no matter how much we think about it, we can't change what has already happened. What we can do, however, is change how we respond to it. Instead of dwelling on past mistakes, use them as lessons. Every mistake you've ever made has taught you something. If you shift your mindset from regret to learning, you turn your past into a tool for growth rather than a source of pain. Letting go also means releasing negative emotions that weigh you down. Anger, resentment, and grudges are like carrying heavy baggage on a long journey. The longer you hold on to them, the more exhausted you become. Forgiveness is not about saying what happened was okay. It's about freeing yourself from the burden of negativity. When you forgive, you don't do it for the other person, you do it for yourself. You let go of the anger and resentment that keep you stuck, and you create space for peace and clarity. Fear is another thing we need to let go of. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. These thoughts keep us trapped in our comfort zones and prevent us from reaching our full potential. The truth is, fear will always be there, but it doesn't have to control you. The key is to acknowledge it, understand it, and then move forward anyway. Courage is not the absence of fear, it's taking action despite it. When you stop letting fear dictate your choices, you open yourself up to new opportunities and experiences. Another important aspect of letting go is releasing the need for control. We often stress about things that are beyond our control, what others think of us, how situations will unfold, or whether everything will go according to plan. But the reality is, no matter how much we plan or worry, we can't control everything. What we can control is our mindset, our actions, and how we respond to challenges. When you focus on what you can change and let go of what you can't, you create a sense of inner peace and freedom. Letting go is a process. It doesn't happen overnight, and it requires conscious effort. But each time you choose to release something that no longer serves you, you lighten your mental load. You create space for clarity, for growth, and for the peace that comes from knowing you are no longer held back by the past. In a world full of noise, distractions, and constant demands, learning to embrace silence is one of the most powerful things you can do for your mind. Silence is not just about the absence of sound, it's about creating space for deep thinking, self-reflection, and clarity. Most people fear silence because it forces them to confront their thoughts, their emotions, and sometimes even their fears. But in reality, silence is where true wisdom is found. It is in moments of stillness that we gain insight into ourselves, understand our true desires, and make decisions with a clear mind. One of the biggest benefits of embracing silence is that it allows you to disconnect from external distractions. We live in a time where we are constantly bombarded with notifications, messages, and information. Our minds are rarely given a break. When we embrace silence, we step away from the noise and give our brains a chance to reset. Now, this doesn't mean we have to sit in complete silence for hours, but rather finding moments throughout the day to step away from the chaos and simply be. It could be taking a quiet walk, sitting alone with a cup of coffee, or just turning off your phone for a while. These small acts of silence can have a huge impact on your mental clarity. Silence also enhances your ability to listen. When you are not constantly talking or filling the space with noise, you become more attuned to the world around you. You begin to notice things you may have overlooked before. Your thoughts become clearer, and you start to truly hear what others are saying. Most people listen to respond, but true listening requires silence. It requires you to fully engage with what is being said without the urge to immediately react. When you embrace silence, you not only hear others better, but you also hear yourself better. You become more aware of your inner voice, your intuition, and what truly matters to you. Another powerful aspect of silence is that it helps you manage stress and anxiety. When we are constantly surrounded by noise and distractions, our minds become overstimulated, making it difficult to think clearly. Silence acts as a reset button for your brain. It allows you to slow down, process your thoughts, and find solutions to problems with a calm and focused mind. Many of the world's most successful leaders, thinkers, and creatives make silence a part of their daily routine, because they understand that in order to think deeply and make good decisions, they need to step away from the noise. Silence also fosters creativity. Some of the best ideas come when you're alone in a quiet space, allowing your mind to wander freely. When your brain is not constantly bombarded with outside input, it has the space to make new connections, generate fresh ideas, and think outside the box. This is why so many writers, artists, and innovators emphasize the importance of solitude in their creative process. Embracing silence is not about avoiding life's responsibilities or isolating yourself from the world. It's about creating intentional moments of stillness where you can gain clarity, reduce stress, and reconnect with yourself. The more you practice silence, the more you will find peace, strength, and direction in your life. One of the most overlooked aspects of personal growth and mental clarity is the power of letting go. We often hold on to things that no longer serve us. Negative thoughts, past mistakes, toxic relationships, and even outdated beliefs that keep us stuck in a cycle of frustration. But true peace and clarity come when we learn to release what is weighing us down. Letting go is not about giving up or ignoring reality. It is about freeing yourself from burdens that prevent you from moving forward. When you clear your mind of unnecessary baggage, you create space for new opportunities, better thoughts, and a stronger sense of inner peace. The first step in letting go is recognizing what is holding you back. Often we carry emotional weight without even realizing it. We replay old conversations in our minds, dwell on what went wrong, or hold grudges that only poison our own happiness. These thoughts do nothing to change the past, they only rob us of our present. When you become aware of what you are holding on to, you can make a conscious decision to release it. This does not mean forgetting or pretending things didn't happen. It means choosing not to let them control you anymore. Another crucial aspect of letting go is forgiving, not just others, but yourself. Many people carry guilt and regret for things they have done or failed to do. They punish themselves over and over for past mistakes, even when there is nothing more to be done. But the truth is, no amount of guilt will change the past, just as no amount of worry will change the future. Self-forgiveness is one of the most powerful acts of self-love. It allows you to move forward without being chained to your past. Letting go also applies to toxic relationships and negative influences in your life. Sometimes we hold on to people out of fear, fear of being alone, fear of change, or fear of confrontation. But if a relationship is draining you, making you feel small, or constantly bringing negativity into your life, it may be time to step away. This doesn't mean you have to hold resentment or anger. It simply means you value your peace and well-being enough to walk away from what no longer serves you. Surrounding yourself with people who uplift and support you is essential for a clear and peaceful mind. Another area where letting go is powerful is in our expectations. Often we create rigid ideas about how things should be. And when life doesn't go according to plan, we feel frustrated and lost. But life is unpredictable, and clinging too tightly to expectations only creates unnecessary stress. When you learn to release control and trust the process, you become more adaptable, resilient, and open to new possibilities. Instead of resisting change, you embrace it. Ultimately, letting go is about making peace with what is, rather than being stuck in what was or what could have been. It is about choosing to move forward with a lighter heart and a clearer mind. The more you practice letting go, the more freedom you will feel, and the more space you will create for the things that truly bring you joy and fulfillment. Finding peace within yourself requires learning how to live in the present moment. Too often, our minds are caught in the never-ending cycle of reliving the past or worrying about the future. We replay mistakes, dwell on regrets, or anticipate problems that haven't even happened yet. This constant mental chatter creates stress, anxiety, and a feeling of being overwhelmed. But when you learn to focus on the present, you free yourself from the unnecessary burden of things you cannot change or control. The mind is naturally restless. It jumps from one thought to another, making it difficult to concentrate and fully experience the moment. This is why practicing mindfulness is so powerful. Mindfulness is not about eliminating thoughts or forcing yourself to be positive all the time. It's about observing your thoughts without judgment and bringing your attention back to the now. When you become fully present, you are no longer controlled by worries or distractions. You engage with life more deeply, feel more connected to yourself and others, and experience greater clarity and inner peace. One way to train your mind to stay in the present is through simple awareness exercises. Start by focusing on your breath. Notice how the air moves in and out of your body, how your chest rises and falls. When your mind starts to wander, gently bring your attention back to your breath. This practice may seem small, but it strengthens your ability to stay grounded in the moment. You can apply the same awareness to everyday activities, eating, walking, or even listening to someone speak. The more you train yourself to be fully engaged in what you are doing, the less power your worries and distractions will have over you. Another way to cultivate presence is by reducing the noise in your life. Many people fill their days with endless stimulation, scrolling through social media, checking notifications, or constantly multitasking. While technology and productivity are valuable, too much mental clutter can make it impossible to find peace. Make time to unplug, be still, and reconnect with yourself. Spend time in nature, read a book without distractions, or simply sit in silence. These small moments of stillness help reset your mind and bring a sense of calm. Being present also means letting go of attachment to outcomes. We often stress over things we cannot control, trying to force life to go exactly as we planned. But life is unpredictable, and clinging to specific expectations only leads to frustration. Instead, focus on what you can control: your actions, your attitude, and your response to situations. When you release the need for things to be a certain way, you open yourself up to new possibilities and experience life with greater ease. Living in the present moment is a practice, not a one-time decision. Some days will be easier than others, but the more you commit to being fully present, the more peaceful and clear-minded you will feel. When you stop worrying about the past and future, you give yourself the gift of truly experiencing life as it happens. True inner peace comes when you learn to embrace uncertainty and accept things as they are, rather than constantly fighting against them. The need for control often creates stress and anxiety because life is unpredictable. We try to force situations to go our way, expecting specific outcomes, but the reality is that we cannot control everything. Unexpected events happen, people act in ways we don't anticipate, and challenges arise out of nowhere. The more we resist these realities, the more frustrated and exhausted we become. However, when you develop the ability to accept what is and adapt, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering and find a sense of calm even in difficult moments. Acceptance does not mean giving up or being passive. It means acknowledging reality for what it is instead of resisting it. It means understanding that some things are beyond your control, and rather than wasting energy trying to change them, you shift your focus to what you can control: your attitude, your actions, and your mindset. This shift in perspective allows you to navigate life with resilience and strength. Instead of feeling powerless when things don't go your way, you learn to adjust, make the best of the situation, and move forward with a clear mind. A major source of stress comes from our expectations. We build mental images of how things should be, how our careers should progress, how people should treat us, how relationships should unfold. When reality doesn't match these expectations, we feel disappointed and frustrated. But when you accept that life is unpredictable, you stop expecting perfection, and instead you learn to flow with whatever comes your way. You begin to see challenges not as roadblocks, but as opportunities for growth. One powerful way to cultivate acceptance is through practicing gratitude. Even in the face of difficulties, there is always something to be grateful for. When you shift your focus to what you do have instead of what's missing, your perspective changes. Gratitude reminds you that even in moments of uncertainty, there is still good in your life. It helps you find peace by focusing on the present, rather than dwelling on what could have been or what should be. By regularly acknowledging the positives in your life, you train your mind to see possibilities rather than problems. Letting go of control also means trusting yourself and your ability to handle whatever comes next. Often, we hold on to control because we fear the unknown. We doubt our ability to adapt and make the right decisions. But the truth is, you are stronger than you think. You have faced challenges before and made it through. Trust that you will continue to find your way, even when things don't go as planned. When you embrace uncertainty and accept things as they are, you open yourself to a life of peace and freedom. You stop wasting energy on things beyond your control and instead focus on what truly matters: your growth, your perspective, and your ability to live fully in the present. The more you practice acceptance, the more you find clarity and peace in all areas of life.